going to take this off the stage.
Hi.
Hey.
How's it going?
How you doing?
We're live.
Here we are. You have a beautiful bookshelf behind you.
I know. I'm in the burbs. I'm in the burbs with Miranda. I'm staying at Miranda's for the evening. Or I stayed here last night, and she's got a great office here.
She has curated her shelves beautifully.
She's curated beautifully. I also it's like a real desk. It's like a desk with like
Are you standing?
No, I'm in one of those like little chairs.
Oh, the knee chair.
The knee chair. The knee chair.
Oh my gosh.
And it's quite comfortable and actually very like
good for you. You're gonna make me stand up straighter.
I'm natural. It feels natural. Yeah. But I did I'm having this realization, like I need a desk.
Yeah, you need a desk.
I need it. Like, what am I doing? This is crazy. Crazy activity that I've been up to.
Yeah, I want that. I wish that for you.
Great. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to share this really quick. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, so what's up with you? What's going on over there?
Just, another day in paradise. I have been all good. I'm on Polymarket right now. I'm tracking this USDH story closely.
Like a hawk.
What's that?
You're watching it like a hawk.
I am watching it like a hawk. And I know we're going to talk about it later in the show, but it's I know that we've talked about this at length, but it is fascinating to see real time what's happening and how it's changing. And anyway, it's just like the modern marvel of technology and media.
The intersection of technology and media.
Exactly. It's really, really, really crazy stuff. But yeah, anyway, all good. Should we get into it?
Sure. Let's do it.
Let's not.
I feel as though that's what we should do.
Okay, great. So what is Boys Club, Natasha?
Boys Club is a creative studio and media company. We have podcasts, we have newsletters, we do a ton of events. We travel all over the world to talk about crypto and emerging technology and how it affects real people and our daily lives. And I have found that I went on a trip this weekend with a ton of people I didn't know. And everybody's like, so what do you do? And I'm like,
I work in tech.
I should just say that. Just say that. What do I do?
I work in marketing.
I work in media.
I work in media.
Know.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I work in media. And people think that I'm like an influencer. And I'm like, no. No.
Yeah.
That's not it. That's not what it is. So it's really funny. There's a whole variety of ways that I can talk about what I do.
What did you say?
I said I have a media company and a creative studio that talks about crypto, and
there it is.
Then they go, they're more confused than when we started the conversation. So anyway, that's Boys Club.
Yeah, I was at an appointment yesterday, and she goes, "What do you do for work?" And I just said, "I work in tech." And I feel like you have a lot more generosity in those moments than I do. You're willing to go into it in a way that
it's time to onboard. It's time to talk my book,
Totally. No, I really respect that about you. Okay. So first, before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to Polygon. We could not love the Polygon team more. And thank you so much to them for supporting this live stream. If you've touched crypto in any way, chances are you've already used Polygon. It's a chain quietly powering a bunch of stuff that actually works, that people actually use, like Stripe's crypto payments, betting on Polymarket's prediction markets, and a bunch more. Honored to have them as partners and supporters of this live stream. Thank you so much, Polygon. We love you guys.
I love you.
Okay, next up here, agenda. So we're going to talk, part of why I rushed through our little intro there was because I know we have two stories that we want to get into first before we have our guests come up. We're going to talk about Nasdaq filing for tokenized securities, changing some rules around tokenized securities with the SEC. And then Kate's going to give us a briefing on the Apple event, a TLDR there, which I cannot wait for. And then a bunch of great guests. Mark Sandberg from Adweek is going to come on and talk about Patreon versus Substack. We have our friend Adam, who's going to talk about the punk strategy play that he's making and also explain a little bit about this NPM attack that freaked everyone out earlier this week. And then we have on a fun guest, Andy from HypurrFi, on the USDH drama. Andy has promised that he's going to take a shower for this
huge
appearance.
I think him saying that makes me think that's a big moment for him.
That's a big moment. Yeah.
Big
so
deal.
really excited for that. I'm really excited to learn what the heck is going on there. So that's what we have going on. Anything to add?
If we have time, we're going to talk about Ralph Lauren and AI powered stylist.
We have been not having time recently.
We've been having no time whatsoever, but I don't know. We're moving on a clip here, so we'll see.
Okay, great. Sorry, not to be all efficient about everything.
All good. I'm reporting for duty. I'm here, I'm ready. Teach me.
Some days, you just like, we gotta get through a lot. Okay. So this news hit I think 2 days ago, Monday, where basically Nasdaq has filed for a rule change with the SEC to allow the trading of tokenized stocks. And basically what this means is that right now there's like a digital way that they are manage the trading and settlement of stocks. And the rule change that they're seeking basically will allow that to happen either the way that it's happening currently or through tokenization. And you can, in the trade, you can choose how you want it settled. And
wow.
So what's up?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It is definitely like for the end user, virtually nothing will change. This is like very much an infrastructure thing. But what it does most notably, it brings the tokenized stocks, like it elevates them to the same rights and like just thinking about them in the same way as you would a normal stock. The tokenized stock and the normal stock are basically one and the same. So with the tokenized stock, you would get things like shareholder voting, you would get things like liquidation claims, like all the stuff that right now the tokenized stocks are missing would come through.
Okay.
And so it comes at a moment where everyone is talking about this. So Robinhood and Coinbase, everything exchange narrative is here. It very much like
so hot right now.
So hot right now. Validates that as a narrative. There are go ahead.
Is there did they get into at all or why they're doing this? Like what's the incentive? And
so there's the benefits, again, like this is an infrastructure play, but there's a couple benefits at the infrastructure level. The first one is way faster settlement. So today the stocks, when they're traded, I think it's like 2 days plus 2 days from the trade. And so now
I'm just imagining a guy with like a literal paper.
Totally. He's like, so this is with the tokenized stocks, like instant, same day, certainly. It becomes a lot faster and that reduces some counterparty risk. Okay. A lot cleaner corporate actions. So things like dividends and stock splits and voting, like right now the process for that is like really onerous. You're like wading through, like the custodian here and the broker here and all these different things. Like it streamlines it into a single source of truth. And then I think the thing that mostly the crypto people are excited about is just what interoperability this unlocks for on-chain. Like when you're bringing all of these assets in a very legitimate way on-chain, it can plug into other on-chain systems like lending and collateral and fractionalization and things like that. So I think that that's like for the
DeFi boys are going to go.
DeFi boys are going to go. They're going to go so crazy on it. Now, I will say there's one trade-off, which is that it is like, they still need to like follow securities rules. So it won't be 24/7, for example, like the markets will still close. And like the scope is like pretty narrow right now still, but I think as like it happens and as it like gets rolled out, I think it'll be interesting to see how it evolves.
Great.
But yeah, that's that.
Great stuff. Cool.
Good news.
Exciting stuff. Good news. We love a good news story.
Love a good news story.
Okay. Is it time to bring up Kate?
Let's bring up Kate. Let's get into it.
Okay. There she is.
Oop.
Hi. Hello. What happened to my visuals?
I don't know. I'm also like I'm having trouble with the deck, so
Here we
stuck.
go.
I'm stuck here. Oh, here we go.
Here we
There it
go.
is, rolls.
Or we could go this so you can see it better.
I like that. That's
Nice,
great.
nice,
That's
nice,
really
nice.
good.
Okay, so given the Apple event TLDR here, I'm not necessarily going to hit on like, oh my God, the A19 chip in all of them and how it works and all the tech specifics. I want to speak to the things that we're probably going to use in our everyday life if we get this new phone.
You're giving the like I'm at AT&T and he's trying to sell me on the new package.
And they always want to give you the things that I don't care about. I'm like, listen, I'm going to be using my phone nonstop. This thing is never leaving my hand. I want to shoot the crispiest content.
This is what we're dealing with.
Natasha has a bite mark in her phone.
No, literally, it's like it's so bad. Like it says so much about me in a way that I'm uncomfortable with. But I have been waiting until September because I want to get the new phone. So sell me.
So I'm going to sell you. All right. Do you like colors? We have iPhone 17 standard, Air, and Pro. Pro is your typical like bigger screen. Obviously, the Air is the thinnest model yet.
I saw
Tiny. I wouldn't say lightest because I think the iPhone 5 was lighter, but this one's thin and light. And the Air comes in like very neutral colors. You got the normal light blue, the beige, the white, the black. The standard color, the new colors they got are like these Skittles pastel colors, green, purple, and light blue. Very Easter egg. And then the Pro, we have black, white, gray, dark blue, and the main character, orange. I had this color in high school.
It's pumpkin orange. Emily's asking, in the comments, does the 17 Pro come in black or is that an unofficial photo? Kate, are you spreading some fake
misinformation?
Oh, no. This is an unofficial photo, to be fair. So, I mean, it's my bad. It's a simple Google. I also didn't write the colors because we had the visual here, but I'm pretty sure that the Pro does not come in black because a lot of people were tweeting about that. So might be.
No worries. We're issuing a real-time retraction, real-time correction.
Thank you, Emily. Okay, so then other main players here, we have the $59 crossbody strap for the phone that people were clowning. Then we have the AirPod Pro 3 that has the live translation, meaning someone speaks at you and in a different language. Right now, there's a few available. We have English, French, German, Portuguese, and Spanish available. And then it translates into your language that you have set up for it. It also says that if only one person, like if you want to have a back and forth conversation, if only one person has the AirPod Pro, you can pull it up on the Apple Intelligence enabled iPhone, iOS, whatever. Like they can transcribe it for you on your phone too. Supposedly. Fact check me. But those are what articles are saying. Coming later this year or by the end of this year, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Chinese, simplified. I have no idea what that means. But simplified Chinese. Here are the features that I really care about when it comes to like camera stuff. You have dual camera recording, meaning I could be filming an event and I could film the event itself and also front camera. So front and back camera at the same time. I can get my reaction and what's happening in front of the phone, which love that. A lot of apps already have that, but it wasn't like native to the iPhone before. And then we
really need more videos of ourselves.
Absolutely.
We need more selfies, more content.
Would you like to see my reaction in real time as the thing is happening? Yes, you would.
Okay, Kate, the thing that I saw that I was like, this is very exciting is with the headphones, exercise.
Oh yeah, go back.
To
the other slide.
This is going to be huge.
We have calorie counting and heart rate tracking in the AirPod Pro.
Incredible. Because I have always been like, have a religious, like belief that no one should wear an Apple Watch.
Yeah, I was
You know
she's
this
very
about me.
anti-Apple Watch. She ain't wearing one.
I'm not messing around with that. But I would love to have like some of the benefits of exercise that tracking and stuff like that that you get with an Apple Watch. But I've never been able to experiment with that for myself. So that's crazy. The in-ear stuff is crazy.
Yeah, those are the two main features that I'm hearing about when it comes to the live translation and the calorie and heart rate tracking, like through their like fitness app. So it gives you all that information. Maybe you can count your steps too.
Huge.
Natasha loves that.
Okay.
In a similar vein, though, the Apple Watch, which I know you hate, but they brought back the famous what do they call it? Hypertension notification. And it could tell you if you have like sleep apnea.
Oh my gosh.
Useful.
Crazy.
That's useful.
So then these are the memes that we're seeing. People are making jokes about translating not only languages, but like corporate speak and what they really mean by that.
I don't understand the non-performative mail here.
I love this one. So someone said, Miranda Nover, the orange iPhone is for the non-performative mail. And then she made a meme and said, this is what I mean. And it's like a starter pack of the non-performative mail. It has the orange iPhone and it looks like a finance bro. And he has a normal car, like royal blue car. He plays like soccer.
I get it. He's the antithesis of the Claro Brooklyn bisexual performative mail.
No, the opposite.
The opposite of it.
Yeah, he's the opposite.
Correct. He's the opposite of the performative mail. He's just a regular dude, and he likes the orange phone because it reminds him of Halo. So the video game.
That's cool. The crossbody bag goes so hard. I see that. I see that for you, Kate. I really see it for you.
I actually love this one.
I think you already have that, Kate. Like I
kind of do in like purse format. Yeah.
I know what I'm getting Kate for Christmas. It's done. We're dusted.
Don't spend $59 on it. Get the Temu version.
Also, I know I want to move on to our next guest, but I will say that the crossbody bag is also like this is giving like my aunties, like my mom and her
all of my aunties,
her girlfriends,
all of my cousins in like Massachusetts, like they all have it.
I think they're gonna eat this up.
Totally.
That was smart, Apple. Nice job.
Okay, Kate, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Lots of great stuff here. Okay,
all right, let's bring up our guests here. Mark will bring it to the stage.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It is going well. I was loving the iPhone commentary. The regular guy part really resonated with me. So that was.
Are you the performative male or are you the regular guy?
Well, I think I hate to say, but I think probably a blend of both. There was definitely parts of the starter pack for a regular guy that appealed to me.
Yeah.
But I think probably writ large. I trend more performative male.
Yeah, I mean the best are always a blend, so we won't hold it against you. Let me do a quick intro here and then we'll get into it. Mark Stenberg, Adweek senior media reporter covering how publishers and platforms are adapting their business models. Previously a Business Insider with a focus on media and the creator economy. You wrote this piece here that we're going to chat about today. Patreon courts Substack writers with paydays in newsletter revamp. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited.
Okay, so this piece, tell us what's happening.
Yeah, so effectively this one kind of started as just me hearing, I actually have like a fair bit of intel that didn't make it into the story, I think, so we could get into some of that. But effectively, I just got a tip from a Substack writer who told me that they had been approached by Patreon, and Patreon had said, we're building out a whole new suite of newsletter tools. We plan to launch them they plan to launch them this year, so in the next few months. And they were using those tools to kind of court some of these Substack writers to incentivize them and try to get them basically to migrate to Patreon as part of some of these outreach efforts. Patreon was also offering like basically financial guarantees. They differed from writer to writer, but basically I ended up speaking with like 3 different Substack people who had been approached, and all 3 of them were given financial guarantees, but they were like different amounts or different types of guarantee. But that was effectively the genesis of it. And then I got Patreon to sort of confirm and offer a few more details. And then that ended up being the story of basically like this growing turf war between Patreon and Substack, which I think is, you know, y'all are wanting to talk about, like kind of leads to the question of, if you're a creator, you know, which platform should you use? And I think that question just got like a little bit more complicated, although maybe it's still not that complicated.
Well, something that I would talk about is I've always had the impression that Patreon was like the little sister to, which is, I think, very inaccurate. So we talk about like the scale of these different platforms and where they sort of live in hierarchy.
Yeah, no, I think that your perception is also like, was literally like my perception before I started researching this article. In reality, Patreon, I think, just has a bit of like a messaging problem because it's bigger, it's been around longer, it has more creators, it generates more revenue, has more subscribers, and it's paid out more money. I mean, a little bit of that's understandable because Patreon has been on the scene since like 2013, and I think Substack was just started in 2018 or 2019. But effectively, I think Substack, the genius there, I don't know that this was their intention per se, but by courting writers really specifically, they created a whole media panic about top journalists leaving news institutions, which then just led to a glut of coverage about the rise of Substack. And I think that has lent it like an outsized sort of presence in the cultural consciousness. Like, I know my parents know what a Substack is, but they probably don't know what a Patreon is. And Substack's become this kind of like stand-in, like Band-Aid for, you know, a newsletter product. So it's really, I think, won the sort of like cultural battle in terms of like, who do you associate with like the creator economy? But I think, yeah, Patreon's been there longer and it's a simpler kind of function. I mean, effectively, it's just like a paywall for whatever you do. And so, yeah, it's the bigger company. They're both private, obviously. So we're all kind of just going off of raises and valuations and information that they've shared. But I think this latest turn is kind of, people always say, you know, CNN's trying to become Netflix before Netflix becomes CNN, like whatever kind of dynamic we're talking about. Like, I think that's exactly what's happening here. Like, Patreon's trying to become Substack before Substack becomes Patreon, because Patreon really started out just with sort of podcast paywalling and now is moving into newsletters. And Substack started off obviously with newsletters, and in the last 1.5 to 2 years has really rolled out a lot of new video and podcast functions. So they're kind of just, getting into a turf war over the creator space.
It's so interesting. Like, I feel like the Substack won because, like, when you court the media people who are often not only the loudest, but have the biggest platforms and are the most visible, like all of a sudden it feels, and you get like a bunch of media people using your thing, like, and since they're so loud about it, it feels like it's the thing, but that often isn't necessarily like translate to business realities, which I think is like a really interesting dynamic that has been interesting to see Substack sort of navigate.
It's like blue sky.
It's like blue sky, exactly.
I mean, that comes up a lot so I cover the media industry, obviously, and it comes up a lot of like, why do people care about the media industry? It's a small industry by revenue, you know what I mean? But like it controls the narrative and as a result has sort of an outsized amount of influence. And I think you'd say the exact same thing about Substack being the sort of media version of the creator economy and therefore being more on the tips of people's tongues. But in reality, it's a far smaller company than its biggest competitors.
Okay, so Natasha, your internet's in and out a little bit, but curious what you think about Flip. So Flip shut down a social media platform over the weekend. They had raised $144 million last year. And a lot of the conversation on the timeline was basically about how paying content creators to use their platform, like that was part of their model. Like, it just doesn't work. Obviously, Patreon's going to write some checks for some big writers to come over to their platform. Like, what's your take on sort of the relationship between, platforms paying people and like maybe sustainability or longevity of that?
It definitely is not. I mean, you see like YouTube obviously like pays out what 40 or 50% of the revenue that videos generate from ads. So like there are sustainable models in which the platform pays or splits the revenue, obviously, with the creator. I mean, and that is what Substack and Patreon do in terms of sort of creator acquisition, which both of these companies call these efforts, right? They have whole teams of people that basically are responsible for poaching creators from one network to another. It is not sustainable in the long run. I mean, Patreon's raised like a Series F, you know, like you're effectively trying to create a network effect, and you are willing to like make calculated bets as to what writer, if you get them to join, is going to maybe like set that chain reaction off and be that like prominent domino or whatever. But I think you don't see like mature social platforms, or really even like mature companies in a serious way, like doing paid creator acquisition. It's just not worth it from an economic perspective. But I think this speaks to the emphasis that Patreon is trying to put on this newsletter push. I mean, it's kind of crazy how they've sort of like let newsletters languish as a channel, despite being kind of first to the party. So I think this speaks to the fact that they are hoping that if they add this new, you know, set of functionality, that might be like the missing piece in the Substack killer kind of thing. But so it's more like I think more a reflection of how invested in this they are rather than a sustainable long-term strategy.
Yeah.
I want to ask your opinion on, you know, we've talked a lot about like Substack and the Substackification of media, and like we've seen sort of these proxies of people who have like really made it with Substack, and they've built like really incredible businesses. And I'm curious what you think about like the longevity of those businesses. If you think about those as like publications that are going to grow into many different people, or if it's going to continue to sort of be like this influencer-led, personality-led way of approaching media, and how those businesses like maintain and grow, if that's sort of the way that they're existing in this like new landscape.
Yeah, that's such a good question. I've talked with Daisy about this. I think in the media, you know, I don't know, media ecosystems, you talk a lot about like right sizing, and this idea that like legacy publishers needed to get a lot smaller, and that these digital startups would, you know, begin as one person, but then they would scale up and they'd somewhere meet in the middle. And that was like the sustainable middle ground for what digital media was going to look like. But I think all we've really seen happen is like the legacy ones shrink. The creator ones haven't really grown that much. I was on like a panel the other day where I put this to somebody and was like, name one like Substack media company that's now like more than 10 people. You know what I mean? Like there are a few, like you've got the Free Press, but that was a part of Substack Pro. So Substack literally paid them and has supported them. So that's not like a standard creator situation. I think you have Emily Sundberg. Obviously her name comes up all the time here. She's hiring some people and has expanded a little bit. But I think ironically, the majority of these creator publications have stayed incredibly small. And I don't know, I kind of I'm hoping I'm disproven, because I know Substack characterizes itself as a kind of incubator for new media companies. That's what they've told me how they think of themselves. To which I would say, like, show me a media company. There's maybe also the Dispatch. I don't know why both of these are like conservative, but you know, make of that what you will.
Might be something in this.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, and I guess like Zeteo just announced it was expanding a little bit, but we're still seeing like very small incremental growth. And I want to see like a media company that blossoms out of this, that's I don't know, can employ a few dozen people.
Yeah.
And I don't think we get that without some sort of external investment, which like is sort of antithetical to the whole Substack model. But I think we're starting to see that maybe you hit a ceiling unless you take in outside money.
Yeah, totally. Okay, you just in the last minute here, speaking of newsletters, you just launched a new newsletter called On Background. First of all, where are you doing it is the $1 million question. And then what platform? And then what's it about?
Yeah, what if I was like Patreon? No, it's actually through Adweek.
Okay.
It's just we're actually using iterable. I mean, this is lame. We're using a different kind of CMS to try out this newsletter. So it's a slightly different backend platform. But it's through Adweek. It's called On Background. Yeah, it's weekly, comes out Wednesday nights. And it's sort of just like an extension of my standard reporting, except though, as we've talked about a little bit here, it's going to be a little bit more Substacky. I've described it as like Emily Sundberg meets Dylan Byers meets Brian Morrissey, if that means anything. So yeah, it's a little bit, I think Adweek is one of a number of media companies who are like looking at the creator landscape and saying, we need to sort of do as they do a little bit more. And so building out franchises and podcasts and newsletters around reporters is something that we are going to be experimenting with a bit more. And I'm the guinea pig. So
exciting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll drop a link for anyone who recognized those names or didn't, and is just sort of generally curious about this as a domain. We'll drop that link in the thread for people to subscribe. Mark, thank you so much for coming on. We'll definitely have to have you on again.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Hi.
Hi.
The verbs are doing me so dirty.
We're having some technical issues.
I think this is better. Miranda said the internet's better. Okay, great.
Okay, let's bring Adam up.
Morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
Are you in a public place?
I am.
Are you at the playground?
Was it loud?
It just sounds like there's kids playing in the background to me, but you actually sound okay.
Bushwick. Self-employed. Kind of like a playground.
Self-employed. Thanks so much for coming on.
Of course.
Okay, we're gonna talk about a few things today with Adam. We'll do a quick intro for
Adam. Yeah. Honestly, twice in as many weeks, it feels like you
friend of the pod,
show regular at this point.
Once a month. That's the goal.
Founder of TokenWorks, which is, as you call it, an art studio and playground for on-chain financialized ideas. You guys do a ton of fun stuff on chain, and you're gonna talk to us about punk strategy today, the perpetual punk machine. Tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, so it launched a couple days ago, and basically the idea is that it's a token that has a pretty high buy-sell tax. The ETH pools up from the trades, and whenever it can, it'll automatically buy the floor CryptoPunk, which is around like 44 or 48 ETH, which I think right now it's 48. Then, whenever it can, it'll relist it automatically for slightly higher, so it's 1.2 times, and then whenever that punk ends up selling, all of the ETH will go and buy the token again. And so it's kind of this yo-yo effect of the funds going from the pot to CryptoPunks back to the token, which generate fees, which buy more punks. And it's kind of like
cool.
Nice.
Okay, let me just explain it back to you, just so I can make sure that I'm understanding it correctly. So token, what's a token? What's the
punk strategy? PNKSTR.
Okay, punk strategy.
Punk strategy.
That you have programmed in such a way so that the fees for buying and selling are a little bit higher than normal. Those fees go into a pool from the trading of the token. The pool accumulates, and then once it gets to a certain amount, presumably programmatically buys a floor CryptoPunk asset, and then immediately relist it for 1.2 higher? Immediately list it for...
Yeah, continue. Yeah.
And then at some point relist it, and then someone buys that, and then the funds from that purchase go into buying the token again, or burning the token?
It buys the token and then burns it, which in my head that's the way of like giving the money back to the holders, you know? And so it's kind of like, on one hand, it's like we saw like these people like fractionalizing NFTs back in like 2021, and it just didn't really work because like you never get a payout. Like people like, there was just a CryptoPunk sale for a fractional vault like this year, and everyone's like, I just kind of forgot about it, or like it's just been too long. Whereas like having a very obvious milestone in the future is kind of like, there's always a goal for this. Like they're either like right now we have 15 ETH for our next punk, so either like we're all excited for the next one to get purchased, or the floor is grinding up and we're really excited for that punk to sell. And so there's always like a liquidity event like in the future, and it's
cool.
Yeah, so
really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you launched this a few days ago, and then the pool hit enough that you could buy your first punk, and then there was some drama that happened.
Oh yeah. So I made this so it's fully permissionless, so it'll just run on its own. And like a lot of people view the CryptoPunks marketplace as part of the art because it's a fully on-chain marketplace, and it was just so early. So I built it so it would all be automatic. So whenever we hit the ETH, there's some things you can't do. Like it's hard to figure out which punk is the cheapest on chain. And so for things I can't do myself, we left these little carrots of like, someone tell me the cheapest punk and then I'll do it. And so it's kind of like, that's like putting in like the missing Lego for like what can't be fully automatic, but then eventually bots will do it. And so it will be like, you know, no one will touch it, but like a bot will fill it in because you get like $50. And so that'll just kind of keep the mechanism going. But I had a bug where anyone could steal all of the money. And so that sucked. But we fixed it. And then it was this whole thing. I had to like run home and like I Ubered back and then I like sprinted back to my apartment and then like got my ledger and like did the transaction. Then I thought it was fine. And the next day I got another message like, hey, like you actually have another bug. When the punk sells, all the ETH will be stuck and it'll never buy the token. Like, but there was some like this crazy way to like solve it that someone sent me. And so we patched it. And now it just works. So.
And are these just like guys hitting your DM being like, hey, I saw this thing, or did money get drained out? And
no,
then you're like,
these are just guys. So the first one is
these are just guys. These are just the guys.
Pop Punk on chain. He works at Limit Break. He noticed the first one. The second one was actually this guy Punk's OTC, who's like the number. I don't know if he's the top punk holder, but he's like the top volume guy. Like he's always buying and selling them. Like I think he's just constantly churning it. I think he's has like $1 billion in punk buys and sells. So he must have just been looking at the
I think that it's hard to describe what I do for work, but I can't imagine.
He's like the punk's market maker and like
okay, so this all happens. You have to like patch these issues that are coming in, and as that's happening, crypto Twitter is like freaking out because the CTO of Ledger posts this tweet about this attack that's happening. And a quote at one point says like that it could affect all chains and like just stop making transactions essentially. I am hoping that you can explain what was going on.
Yeah, and of course for me, like for this fix, I had to use my own CryptoPunk.
Just to grab your ledger,
And I had to list my own CryptoPunk for $0 and then
oh my gosh,
buy it back for $1 in the same transaction. And so I get my CryptoPunk. The second I move it out of my ledger, I see on Twitter, it's like, do not interact with anything. But I looked, it was fine. So yeah, this actually, it's called a supply chain attack. And basically like, you can think of it as all of these other really complex program, like packages, like JavaScript packages, all import from smaller ones. And so for this one, it was like, just see if, see if this thing's a number. And so everyone just is used to importing this thing in. And then they hacked like this really basic one and they made it so instead of saying like, just see if this is a number, it's like actually drain your wallet. And so it automatically got imported to everything else. And so it's like, it's a small little thing that we all use.
Okay. Can I try to explain it back to you?
I have a better example.
Okay.
Think of like, we're all building these complex like cakes and we're bakery and we're all making
okay, great. I was going to go cooking. I was going to
restaurant. We're a restaurant. We're all restaurants. And someone poisoned the water. Like no one's checking the water. It's something we all use, but it's just so down the chain that like it just trickled up and affected every restaurant.
Honestly, this stuff.
I don't know if I lagged out for that.
Sorry, you broke up for a second, but like literally that like how like if this can happen in this instance, like what's preventing the water from being poisoned in all these other areas in which we're dealing with all this money? Like
exactly.
Like does that fear not like crawl up through the back of your spine, or are you like you're good with it?
Yeah, I mean like they were pretty quick at fixing it and like everyone within like 2 hours.
Who's they?
They is like the person who got phished. Just the actual. I mean, there's a lot of safeguards for like of the package. Yeah, and so like people notice like it sets off alarm bells. They're like, hey, this package from 7 years ago had an update, and so people noticed it. It's obviously not the best, but I think they total got like $40.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is kind of insane. This actually happened. I still kind of work there, but Premint, who now owns Vulcan, 2 days after I joined, they had a supply chain attack just like this, where they targeted a very specific package that we use and only pushed code for the pre-mint site. And so anyone who went to pre-mint and just entered a raffle, it'd be like, sign in with your wallet. And they got like, they attacked at like 3 a.m. in the middle of the night. It was like a really bad night, and they got like $500,000. And so it's like, this isn't something new, but like it's
Okay.
Well, I want to give a shout out to the guys who are monitoring the situation and who are fixing the packages and who are spotting the supply chain issues and who are pushing those. But yeah, the guys. I just really feel really grateful for the guys who are watching all this all the time, presumably.
Presumably. Okay, so thank you for explaining it. Super helpful. If that happens again, we just got to live on Twitter. That's the only. That's the only way to know if there's going to be another attack. It's just right here with the phone all the time.
Yeah, odds are low. And it's just, I mean, the best thing you can do is use a ledger. I mean, obviously it's funny. Like, use a ledger. It's the ledger CTO breaking this news. But it's like, even then, like they're like, use a ledger, don't use, hot wallets. But then I use my ledger a lot. I'm not like if they switch the address, I wouldn't notice. I like to think I would, but like it was something like they changed the front end, and then when you go to the ledger, it doesn't match. I feel like I'm not if I'm not expecting a hack, I feel like I'm not like checking it every time, which I should
absolutely
be.
Not. Totally.
Yeah. So it's
cool. Okay, thank you. That's super helpful. Okay, and then last questions here around what's next for Punk Strategy. So, what percentage are you guys at for your next buy?
Yeah, so we are. We still have that Punk listed. It's, so whenever that sells, it's listed at 58 ETH, which is the floor is currently 46.
Okay.
Or maybe it's 48.
Do you feel like you need to bring that down a little bit, or do you feel like it's going to sell?
No, I think it'll sell eventually. And if it doesn't, it's always there. I think there's also like a funny. We're also we have 18 ETH pooled for the next one.
Okay.
And so it's just going. I think once we get either closer to that floor of the next one selling, people will buy to speculate. That'll generate more fees. That'll buy more punks. And so I don't know.
So
also,
you guys will buy another one, even if the first, pool, okay.
So we could have 10. We could have 10,000. We could buy them all.
Wow.
But I don't know. It's really hard to say like how it'll exactly go out. I was originally listing it at 2x, and people were like, "Oh, let's do 1.2." And so there's some things I still can change, but the goal is to like. It all runs on its own now, and it's like I never have to touch anything. There's nothing I can. Eventually, I'll like renounce the contract, and like I don't have to. It'll just be like a fun little thing. Just the goal, and then I'm getting fees like there's 10% buy sell tax, 8% funds the pot, 2% is taken as like a rake fee, 1% of that goes to me, 1% of that is split actually between all of the TokenWorks NFT holders. So there's like 140 of them, and they're just like. If they minted, they got like 0.05, which isn't, but that was like my way of like, we're trying to align incentives, and like, you don't have to buy the token to like support it. And so,
cool.
Yeah.
Adam, thanks for coming on. Friend of the stream. We'll see you next. We'll see you next month.
I'll see you next month.
The ticker in the chat. We'll drop in the thread here so that people.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. I'll see you guys.
Bye. See you later. Great.
Okay. Is it Hyperliquid time?
It's Hyperliquid time.
I'm so excited.
Let's do it.
So excited. Andy, hi.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Oh,
wow.
Professional setup. I
really.
Oh yeah. I used to do streaming with Chainlink back in the day, and they let me keep the mic after I left. So
nice. Well, you sound great.
Yeah, I laid on. I showered for you guys. I got the good mic.
Thank you. Wow, huge.
You look great. I'm sure you smell great. We're so happy to have you. Just a quick intro. Andy, growth lead at HypurrFi, the leveraged lending marketplace for accelerated yield on Hyperliquid. Pulled you in as a Hyperliquid correspondent today. And so
happy to be the Hyperliquid correspondent. Yeah, so we're on the EVM. But there's all this drama going on about the stablecoin USDH, the ticker. And so happy to chat about it. It's ongoing. It's like updating now in the Discord still. There's tons going on.
Okay. So give us the TLDR. Like what's happening? What's going on?
Right. So the Hyperliquid team itself has they have access to the tickers that go on Hyperliquid, and so those are very valuable, and people want them. In the past, they have, and still today, you can buy a ticker, you can buy a spot ticker. You, Natasha, can go on there and bid for it yourself, and you can have it. And so right now, for example, USDXL is our synthetic dollar. We got a governance token as well that we bid for those ticker spots, and we own those. Well, USDH has been reserved because it's like a stable coin that is clearly hyperliquid. USDH, it's like this denominated. And so that has been reserved, and you can't just go and buy that and bid for it at auction. Everyone's been wondering, what are they going to do with it? Are they going to launch their own stable coin? Well, a little less than a week ago, the team announced they're not going to launch it. They're going to make the auction available to the public for up to a governance vote. And basically they said, everybody come, and if you want to have this ticker, we'll put a proposal in the Discord, and then after a few days, and there's a whole timeline and everything coming up soon, the people who stake Hype can vote, and we'll decide. Now, given the amount of revenue that Hyperliquid does, to think about having a USDH ticker that could potentially be the quote asset instead of USDC for some of their perps markets, this thing makes $5 million a day in fees, right? Alone, that's just fees. That prospect is very exciting for many people and many projects. And so a lot of proposals have come in, a great variety, a lot of positioning and infighting and backroom, yapping and things. And then it hit the timeline as well. So yeah, it's been a delight.
Wait, 5 million in fees a day? That's the stakes here?
We gotta put our hat in the ring.
The wrong business.
Proposal, you got time. well, so that's what Hyperliquid makes. And so people see the top line numbers and they think, well, I'll take $5 million in fees a day. Having this ticker doesn't guarantee that you will be the quote asset on Hyperliquid. We don't know that. That's actually one of the things. So it is an auction for, it's basically a bid for to get this ticker. It is not access to the revenue.
Just the ticker.
So there's also just the ticker.
Just the ticker.
Now, all the other systems that ticker might go to, that is what's up for play. And where does that revenue go? That's what's up for play. And so we don't know. And the team hasn't said, we're going to replace USDC. They don't say that. They would never come out and say that. And in fact, maybe the system doesn't let you do that. Like, we're not quite sure. There's some gray area here.
Okay, so the teams that are coming out and like pleading their case, what are they coming out with? Like, what are these proposals looking like? What's giving the most compelling sort of case for voters?
Well, the big story in Hyperliquid community is, are you Hyperliquid aligned? And so, alignment is a very much a factor. And what Hyperliquid has done with that 5 million in revenue a day, they buy back their token, and a massive, 98% or something of that a day buys back Hype and sticks it into a fund. And so that is thought of as Hyperliquid aligned. And so a lot of these proposals to be aligned are saying, well, we're going to use the revenue to give back to the community. And several of them are 100% of the revenue. The amount, the BIPs that these guys are taking or proposing on this are very, very small. And so it's really just like, how are you going to make revenue on this? That's actually kind of a question that I have that's still outstanding, that I haven't seen a lot of answers for. But one of the proposals, one of the leading ones, say half the revenue they're going to use to just have their own assistance fund and buy back Hype, just like the Hyperliquid team does. The other 50% they use to build up a treasury so that they can launch new markets with additional funds. Others are, committing it to other growth programs like to be able to do emissions on the EVM. So if you create a Pendle market or a lending market or an LP or whatever, they can do emissions as well and incentivize that. So there's all sorts of different ways, but most of it has the leading ones all have a massive chunk of the revenue going back to the community in some form.
Okay, you have been very deliberately not naming any names. Are you doing that, or do you not want to say? Okay, can we talk about?
I'm happy to. I'm personally taking like a neutral stance. I think we're HypurrFi, so like we're a lending market. We'll take it and you can borrow it and lend it, and we'll be fine. Yeah. That's how we make our revenue in general. And so there's a lot of great proposals out there. There's kind of 4 leading ones and some other notable ones. Native Markets is a leading one. Max Feige, formerly of Barnbridge, and some many other sort of stablecoin adjacent platforms. This is a new startup, and he's hired a guy from Uniswap Labs and a couple other seasoned folks. But they haven't launched anything. This is a new project, but they have a great proposal. He's very Hyperliquid ecosystem, has been an advisor and investor in a ton of stuff. Hi, Imp. Good to see you. And so he's really proposing this Hyperliquid aligned one. He's got a lot of whales and validators in his court. Paxos, affiliated with PayPal and Venmo, also affiliated with Nucleus Labs, which is a very Hyperliquid aligned curator, DeFi curator. They've put in a bid as well. And along with their bid and revenue sharing and community and stuff, they've got like $20 million that's going to go into something. I don't know. They're just like, we got 20 mil. We're going to put it in and stick it in. So they're coming out with some big guns, with some bribes. Athena as well, who does USDE and their sort of basis trade SUSDE coin. They've come out with a proposal as well. And all of these providers also have like various other TradFi or custodian sort of relationships. So Max and Native Markets, they've got Bridge, which is the Stripe one. Paxos has PayPal and Venmo. Athena has got BlackRock and Anchorage. And then couple of really interesting ones are the DeFi native ones. And so Rune from MakerDAO, Sky, and USDS, he put in a bid that is actually really interesting to see if they were to bring something like a DAI and Maker and Spark to Hyperliquid, which has not been on Hyperliquid yet. And Michael Egorov from Curve as well has a version of Curve for DUSDH as well. So there's a ton. And then there's a bunch more. But of course, it's also crypto. So there's joke ones in there, and there's like garbage, and there's spam, and there's all sorts of stuff. So it's a really fascinating thing.
And when you say like in there, is this like all happening on Discord? Like I'm seeing obviously like in crypto Twitter, like all of this sort of campaigning and petitioning that people are doing like on the timeline. But where is the like official like ground zero for these different proposals?
Yep, totally public. It's in the Hyperliquid Discord. There is a specific channel that says USDH, and there's proposals in there, and then each one of them has a litany of comments that are like constantly updating. That's why I'm looking over to see like who's posted now. And back and forth, really good questions, hard-hitting, insightful questions from, Fartmaster24, who has some, multi-millionaire hedge fund, operator that has really insightful questions about custody and, right, if it's Stripe via the Bridge relationship, do they have control over the funds? Like, is them being a competitor with their own new chain, whatever it's called, a weakness and things like that. So people are really digging in and asking a lot of hard questions. There's fighting as well. Like people are coming out on the timeline, then, shit posting as well and actually calling people out. And then, of course, there's all the backroom Telegram chats as well that are happening.
Right. I want to get to that in a second. But I do think like I feel like there is something so deeply healthy about having this type of discourse and stress testing these ideas and having like questions come from so many different people. Like it just feels, and having that be in a public forum feels, or at least a semi-public forum feels really healthy. And like I feel like is a learning that we can apply to other sectors and other industries. Like it feels great. Although I know that it does cause a lot of drama and fighting, like still at the end of the day, like there's something anti-fragile about it.
There's a clear agreement among Hyperliquid community and hype holders is that the end result is going to be good. Whoever has a proposal, it's going to be good. And so like my perspective, I'm neutral and I'm trying to be neutral for the lending market, but also the top 6, they look like great proposals to me. Like it's going to turn out pretty well. And so it's up to people to decide on those details, exactly how and who they want to implement it. It's not quite the DAO vision of like everybody shared governance and all that sort of thing, but it is public and it is democratic and it is fair. Bring a proposal. And if you got a crap proposal, it gets laughed out. And if you got a good proposal, people debate it as well. So I think so. I think it's generally quite healthy. And what's really interesting is it's a massive revenue vector for the Hyperliquid team that they have just said, nope, you do it. Community, figure it out. And that's really cool. That's fascinating.
Yeah. Okay. One more thing here that I just want to get your take on really quickly. I do think love debating and open, like best proposal wins. There is a little chat on the timeline that's happening now around maybe that there is more backroom dealings than were privy to, or folks are privy to on the Discord. There was a tweet that went viral yesterday from Hasib at Dragonfly, starting to feel like USDH RFP was a bit of a farce, hearing from multiple bidders that none of the validators are interested in considering anyone besides native markets. It's not even a serious discussion, as though there was a backroom deal already done. Then he goes on to say a ton more stuff. But what's your take, or what's your feeling on that?
Well, so as far as the Hyperliquid team, nothing they've ever done has suggested backroom deals of any kind.
Yeah.
And so I think that they are not involved. I think they have pitched this out and laid the framework and done that. Now, when it comes to the validators, well, who are the validators? There are people who have acquired Hype and have staked it and are operating. If they have a relationship with other whales and other investors and validators, like, is that a backroom deal? Well, you buy the Hype, right? And certainly people have and are doing that. The insinuation from Hasib's tweet and from other people is that Max in particular, because he's been such a hype whale, knew this was coming. That does not seem to be the case, in my opinion. Like they were building their project native markets with or without USDH, and they've said so in the proposal. If we don't get it, we're still going to launch a stablecoin and do this stuff. So I think what people are most concerned with is the RFP kind of came out from the team, and then very quickly Max posted his thing, and then they've updated it since. But so I don't.
Maybe he was just locked in. Maybe he was just like, let's go. Let's see.
The Hyperliquid community is very, very locked in, and people did move very fast on this. But to think that Athena hasn't had their eye on launching a stablecoin there, or Curve hasn't thought about it, or Maker and Rune haven't thought about it, that's preposterous. Everybody's looking at Hyperliquid and sees these revenue numbers, sees the activity. The reason it has those numbers is there's real people doing real finance and real trading there in size, and nobody is ignoring that. So if you're not thinking about what you're going to do on Hyperliquid, I think you're probably missing out. And so for people that kind of have a plan in motion, post it, and then see what other people are thinking in the conversation, I think is very reasonable. And Max, to his credit, he's been in the Hyperliquid community for ages, well before the airdrop, and well before all the hype, if I may. And so he does have great relationships, and he's built a tremendous goodwill among the community. Now, I think other people have as well, many other people in the proposals. And so of course is it backroom deals if you're in telegrams with people saying, hey, here's what I think is good about my project? I think that's just how it goes. That's conversation. That's democracy. Like genuinely, like you have conversations with people. So I personally, that's what I see.
Cool.
Nice. Andy, thank you so much. I've learned so much, and we'll have to have you back on at some point, maybe after we see who wins the bid.
I'll be your Hyperliquid correspondent.
There we go.
Like, I'm so in the ecosystem. It's nice to come out. I wore my Ethereum shirt to pretend I'm not always fully Hyperliquid.
Oh, I love it.
Good to see you guys.
Okay.
Andy,
Nice Thanks so much. Great. Wow, great
guess.
Okay,
Great
should we bring Kate back on real quick to talk about Ralph Lauren?
Yes, please.
We're
context switching. We're context switch.
Wow.
We're switching.
How's it going, Kate?
Great. I missed you guys so much. But what a great conversation about Hyperliquid stuff. So
great. Okay, let's go to some Ralph Lauren quickly.
Okay, I'm in the wrong
window.
I'm in the wrong window here.
No worries.
This is what I know. Kate, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Ralph Lauren launched an AI app, essentially a styling app that is a virtual Ralph Lauren or Ralph Lauren? Ralph Lauren.
Yep.
And people can go on and get styled by him. Am I missing something?
You have the gist. It's less fluffy than that.
Okay.
It's more so just like a chat bot on the app that already exists. And it's styled for you. Almost like when you're scrolling down after you see a shirt and it's like, here's what you could pair it with.
Okay.
It's a little, like all these articles are a little fluffier than the actual experience.
This is
me going through the flow. I went through the flow last night, and you download the app, Lauren. And this is the first thing that pops up, Ask Ralph. So it is a AI-powered conversational styling tool. Sorry if you can hear that in the background. And it's on their app. So then when you actually have to log in, which is really annoying. I was hoping that you could just continue as guest, but you have to like sign in, create an account through like Salesforce. I'm like, what is all this on the back end? I was like, not
What?
you're being logged into Salesforce, and I was like, what? Okay. But then you pick your preferences. They go, of our brands, which do you like? What's your style?
Okay.
Do you like preppy, casual, yada yada yada? You pick them, men, women, both, whatever. And then it finally says, okay, now that you've created your profile, ask Ralph, ask Jeeves. And so I went,
Oh,
I'm going to base camp. And so I said, hey, Ralph,
That's so funny.
what should I wear to base camp in Vermont? And then
Are we gonna catch you in this with a belt around the waist?
I think it's like $300 jacket. And of
That's
course,
not for
it's super
Kate.
expensive. It's not for me.
Yeah.
And so it suggests a few different options because it says it's conversational, right? Almost like a chat
Okay.
GPT. You ask for one thing and it says, well, are you looking for cozy vibes, sporty vibes?
Okay.
And
Was it pretty generic like that, or was it able to like get into
really
something more?
generic?
Okay.
Really
Right.
generic. But I will say, because right now the only products available are the Ralph Lauren products. The other brands, like I'm more of a double RL girl. Like I like the Western biker vibes, like more rough. I don't really care for the Americana stuff. Like it's nice, but it's not my vibe. And so that's all they have. So when I'm like sporty, it's giving me a fuchsia sweatsuit or like an American flag sweater.
Right.
Or a tennis skirt, which, I'd pair with something else. But the idea is they pull from their existing catalog from years back. So all the photography and the styling is on brand to Ralph Lauren.
Just a quick question. Is Ralph Lauren alive still? I don't know this. He is.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Just because,
unrelated.
Because like I feel like it's a different thing if
from the grave
or alive, and then they've created an AI sort of version of him.
Maybe that's what they're like planning for.
Well, at that point, I would hope that he would like give his consent before, like, you know what I mean? There's something weird about like if you had passed and then someone's doing ask Ralph.
Post what's it called? Post yeah. Okay, Kate, thank you.
My pleasure.
What a fun show. Great to be here with you all. We'll catch you next week.
Until then.
Bye, guys.